Already live. Good morning, everyone. So I'm Dr. Shalja, consultant, obstetrician and gynecologist at Rainbow Children Hospital, Birthright, BG Road, Bangalore. Hope all of you are safe. This lockdown is going on well. So as all of you know, this coronavirus disease is an infectious disease caused by newly discovered coronavirus. So how to be very, very safe? Most important thing is to be alert and follow the social distancing. So that you will also remain safe and you will make others also safe. So now the concern is pregnant ladies. So whether they are at increased risk of contracting the infection. Everybody's worry is that. See, I don't say pregnant women are at increased risk of contracting the infection, but even then we have placed pregnant women in moderate risk group because definitely pregnant women is not one, it is two. Okay, so they should be careful, especially in their third trimester. So one thing I would like to share with you all people, coronavirus per se is not harming the unborn fetus. Say, for example, first trimester, people may be worried, is the virus teratogenic, may cause any congenital abnormalities in the baby. Since it is proven in many case series that vertical transmission from the mother to the baby is almost nil because they have tested amniotic fluid, genital secretions, breast milk, they have taken swabs from the baby, so they have not found the virus in these body fluids. That says the vertical transmission from mother to baby is not possible as of now, as the evidence says at this point of time, they are sure it is not getting transmitted vertically, so it is not teratogenic. It is not teratogenic, so it doesn't cause any congenital abnormality. At the same time, there is no increased risk of miscarriage also. So what are the other problems pregnant lady can face? So it is one more thing is preterm delivery. So we are seeing little COVID positive mothers delivering early so that, see, this is more of iatrogenic rather than it is happening on its own. So we doctors are scared of coronavirus complications with the mother and delivering the women early. So that has to be condemned. Unless coronavirus disease has caused cardiorespiratory compromise, so then only we need to consider delivery to help resuscitation of the mother. Otherwise, we need to patiently wait, treat only coronavirus disease and don't deliver the baby early. So allow the baby to attain maturity and by then even the pregnant lady also will turn out to be negative. She'll be in a better position to deliver. So through all these studies, so what we can come to conclusion, definitely the virus is not affecting the unborn baby. So what about after the delivery? After the delivery, whether she can breastfeed the baby or not. So once again, if she can take all the precautions by washing her hands, taking following on the respiratory hygiene, so avoiding coughing, sneezing on the baby, she can allow, she can be allowed to feed the baby. So, but one should be really careful regarding the direct transmission from mother to baby. So, with your permission, I'll be removing my mask to make myself very audible. Deepa, water kodu. Deepa. So even we doctors are tired of wearing masks. But that is the only way of avoiding spread of infection, contracting the infection. So let us all remain safe and make others also safe. So if at all questions are ready, I'll be ready to take the questions up. And regarding, so whether to test everyone before delivery. So better. So to keep the hospital safe, other patients safe, hospital healthcare workers safe. So we need to test every woman before delivery. We usually test when another 5 days are there for delivery to go. So, but sometimes we land up with emergencies even before we test. So we get them in labor. How to manage them? So in the hospital, we need to have two different places. One is for clean cases where we have already tested and it is proven it is COVID negative, and the other place is for suspected cases. In meaning we have not got the COVID test report still, so we should treat them like an infected case till the report is arriving. So one more place should be a contaminated, purely the COVID positive cases to handle. So every hospital should have these three segregated places. Then only we can do justice to our mothers. So suppose test report says it is negative. Are we very safe? She can be there in the window period where still the test is negative. So that is the reason each and every case has to be treated like corona positive. We should never relax. So don't forget to wear your N95 mask, the face shield, and also personal protective equipment. So we need to do this for everybody. So I know it is sometimes not very cost effective, but to keep everyone safe, we need to follow this stringently. So let us all join hands to prevent spread of corona from one person to the other. And disinfection of the hospital also is equally important. So after every case, we need to clean up the area. So we need to use appropriate the disinfectant solutions like sodium hypochlorite solutions to clean the area and keep it safe for the next mother. Questions still not coming up. Mhm. See, apart from pregnancy, so we deal with even gynec cases, right? So gynec cases, there is no question. We take them up without testing them for the virus. So we need to do the testing for everybody before we take up in the OT. So, but few cases like emergencies like rupture ectopics, we can't keep waiting for the report. Once again, we have to take the universal precaution and go ahead with such cases. Laparoscopies also, as far as possible, we should avoid laparoscopies, but whenever it is inevitable, we have to take all the precautions from the general anesthesia to the pneumoperitoneum. So at the time of general anesthesia, we should minimize the aerosolization. So also during the following the procedure, whenever we are deflating the pneumoperitoneum, we should let out the gas into the suction apparatus, and also we can connect it to the sodium hypochlorite solution so that the gas which comes out, the pneumoperitoneum carbon dioxide which comes out, should not be let free into the air, which can cause aerosolization and spread of the virus. So all these precautions need to be followed in the operation theatre. So regarding staffing, we should keep it to the minimum. Whoever is necessary in the operation theatre should be allowed inside, not everyone into the operation theatre. These things have to be carefully followed. Even when we go for rounds, for regular rounds, so we should not be going, touching the patients, shaking hands, here also we need to follow the social distancing. We need to use the PPE, that is personal protection equipment, including the N95 mask and the face shield, so that we can prevent the contracting infection. See, healthcare workers' safety is also very, very important, because unless we are in appropriate number, will not be able to cater the service to everyone. So even if one or two doctors or nurses get infected and they are quarantined, the entire team suffers. So that is the reason protection of the doctor is equally, and other healthcare workers is equally important. So everybody should follow the universal precaution irrespective of the COVID virus test result. And for the general public, so please don't go out unless it is very essential. Okay, so your bank works can wait, your office works can wait. Okay, see, of course, you may have to go out to procure your vegetables, your the groceries. So, but keep it to the minimum. Keep it to the minimum. So, use all the protective measures. So, wear your mask properly. So, go and come back quickly. So, don't unnecessarily step out and invite the trouble. And one important advice, see, we take friends and relatives for granted. We think, okay, they are our relatives, they are our friends, as if they are corona resistant people. Don't do that. Don't go for any gathering, okay? Don't sit and do parties, okay, without wearing any mask and invite the trouble. We are seeing, so by doing small functions at home, people are getting into trouble. So people are quarantined in mass, and over that, they are losing so much of money. See, quarantine also involves so much of uh, money involved in it, because they have to be in the hospital. Everybody should wear PPE to take care of such people. So don't invite that trouble unnecessarily. And OPD consultation. One thing I would like to address here is, don't miss out on your consultations. Okay, see, sometimes there will be very important physical examinations, sometimes there will be very important scans or blood investigations. If you miss them, you'll be really in trouble. So, you please consult your doctor over video or phone call, and make sure you don't miss out on any important visits. So now questions are coming up. Let us take it. Uh, I think Mrs. Rachna is asking, is an expectant mother more prone to contracting COVID-19 than a non-expectant one of the same age? Not at all. Pregnant ladies are not more prone for infection. Okay, so but we are placing them in moderate risk group just to be more alert, because the physiological changes, whatever happens during pregnancy, so those things actually make the consequences little more complicated. So otherwise, contracting the infection is similar to any other non-pregnant lady during pregnancy. So you should take precaution like any other person, the universal precautions. So social distancing, respiratory hygiene. So lock yourself. Don't wait for government order for the lockdown. Lock yourself at home and stay safe. Everybody has this notion, maybe they are at more risk. No, it is not. Especially after seventh month, we should be a little more alert, because of the coronavirus disease. If they develop respiratory compromise, then that might result in early deliveries, preterm deliveries, baby might go into an ICU. These things have to be avoided. That is the reason we want everybody to be safe. So welcome, Rachna. Pregnant ladies should concentrate on improving their immunity like any other person. Okay, they should concentrate on healthy diet, balanced diet. Okay, so they should take more of fruits, vegetables, plenty of water. Okay, so especially we Indians are at advantages and because we use more of spices like pepper, ginger, a little bit of this one, curcumin. So all these things make actually us more resistant to the virus. So keep using all those home remedies along with your, but don't go by any of the no evidence based medicines like chloroquine, okay, hydroxychloroquine, any antiviral like oseltamivir, some MMR vaccinations. There is no data regarding the efficacy or safety of these medications. So it is not recommended for pregnant ladies to use them routinely. Okay, so it is only for at risk, high risk exposure people. So we have few recommendations regarding these drugs, but for pregnant ladies, we don't recommend all these things. So best way to prevent infection is maintaining your social distancing and improving your immunity through good food as well as exercise, do your yoga, do your pranayama. So that in turn builds up your immunity. So along with this, even your thoughts must be positive. Say all the time you should not be inviting the virus into your mind, into your house. Should not keep thinking about the virus. Should always feel you are healthy and you will remain healthy. And when you come for the OPD consultation, one advice I would like to give is keep your attenders to the minimum. Don't bring your husband, mother, father, child, everybody for the consultation. Come with one attendant. Also, don't bring too many articles with you. Water bottle, handbag, all these things have to be avoided. So, because they all act like fomites. How the virus is spreading? It is through droplets. So, it will be there in the air when we cough or sneeze. So, that is the reason we have to maintain the distance of at least 3 meters because virus can spread up to 3 meters. So it remaining in the air, yeah, it can remain in the air for 2 to 3 hours. Okay, so that is the reason we should be wearing the mask even when no people are around because they would have coughed and gone 1 or 2 hours back. So virus may be just lingering in the air also. Also, these viruses can go sit on the fomites, articles like plastic, cardboard, steel. So once they settle down on all these things, it may remain on these surfaces for 1 to 3 days. That is the reason whatever you get from outside, try to sterilize them properly. Thoroughly wash them with soap and water. Okay, so if at all the articles which cannot be washed should be kept outside for 1 to 3 days before touching them. So by following all these careful measures, so we should be able to prevent the spread of the virus. Anybody has any questions can come up with. Mr. Mahendra Gautam is asking, is it better to have natural delivery rather than C-section during COVID? Good question. Actually speaking, our decision on the mode of delivery should not be influenced by COVID. Okay, so whether they are COVID positive, negative, we should go by so whatever is appropriate for the mother. So if she is having any contraindications for the vaginal delivery, yes, C-section. Otherwise, we can go ahead with vaginal delivery. But one practical issue in doing vaginal delivery for COVID patients. See, because it is little uncertain, the duration of the labor, and throughout the labor, so healthcare workers should be present to monitor the baby carefully. Okay, so the deliveries which progress very fast and they deliver nicely, yes, of course, vaginal delivery is recommended. So where we have doubt about the vaginal delivery, so our threshold for cesarean section is little more higher for COVID patients compared to non-COVID patients, because see, the duration of exposure for the healthcare workers increases if we keep on waiting for normal delivery in COVID positive cases. But we should not do unnecessary preterm sections for the COVID positive patients. We should allow them to go into natural labor. If there is good progress, we should encourage vaginal delivery. Only if there is no good progress, then we can think of going ahead with the cesarean section. See, by doing cesarean section, we are not going to achieve anything. So the vaginal delivery doesn't have any increased transmission of the virus from the mother to baby. So C-section is not going to give any protection against the virus. So it is only for the practical issues, so that it is timed sections. So we can allow minimal number of the healthcare workers to handle the case and we can finish it. That is the only advantage of section compared to normal delivery. For mother and child, there is no additional advantage with cesarean section. Mrs. Shona is asking, can coronavirus cause problems for a woman's pregnancy or her baby? Uh, Complication of pregnant mother is like any other person. See, most of the time it will be mild to moderate symptom, just cough, cold, okay, so fever. With this, most of them will settle, and few people can be asymptomatic also. They will not have any symptoms. Very small percentage of the people can have respiratory distress. So they can have difficulty in breathing, their saturations can come down, they can have pneumonia. Okay, so but the complications or consequences of this coronavirus disease is like any other person. It is not exaggerated for a pregnant lady. Coming to baby. So for the baby, there is, as I already mentioned, there is no vertical transmission from mother to baby, either through placenta or through breast milk. So that means to say they can comfortably carry on with the pregnancy till term. They can deliver vaginally. They can breastfeed the baby also. Only thing, after the birth of the baby, mother should not come in contact with the baby. She should thoroughly wash her hands before touching the baby, should wear proper mask to prevent the respiratory, nasal secretions reaching the baby. So if she can take care of these things, she can comfortably handle the baby. So feed the baby. So Mr. Purnamashi Tripati is asking, what are the precautions we should take while pregnancy period? Pregnancy period, as I already told, it is only through social distancing. So pregnant lady should stay at home safely, and she should see to that her surrounded people also, her husband, her other family members should also not go out, contract the infection, come back and so give the infection to her. These things she should take care at home, and she should concentrate on healthy diet, which will improve her immunity, so her resistance power towards the virus. She should practice yoga, so along with pranayam. So these things will definitely mm, boost her immunity towards the virus. And regarding her pregnancy care, as I already told, she should not miss out on her antenatal visits either through video consult or through the physical presence. She should carry out with her antenatal care properly, and she should, out of fear, she should not miss out on important investigations, important tests during pregnancy and get into trouble. So if she takes care of these things, definitely pregnancy should go on smooth without any problem. So one more person is asking, there is too much hype about taking zinc multivitamins. Is it really required if levels are fine for expecting mother? I don't think so. So, but vitamin rich food. So your fruits, vegetables, plenty of dry fruits. So all these things will definitely help. But no need to load yourself with vitamin tablets. Not necessary. So if your diet is good, so obviously you get everything through diet. So you need not actually think too much about multivitamin tablets, zinc, etc. But take your pregnancy supplements properly. So pregnant women would have been put on iron, calcium, DHA, protein powder. So concentrate on these things. Take them properly. So his morning and evening walks outside with proper mass suggestible as there is lot of flatulence. So no. So ideally we should not go out for morning and evening walks. See, there is no point in wearing mask and going for the walk. Okay, so that walk you can do it within the house only and concentrate more on yoga. So you do the at least 1 hour yoga program. Online classes are going on everywhere. So they will definitely guide you better. So take online classes and do yoga at home. So sit and do pranayama. So that will keep you safe. So when there is community spread, why do you really want to go out for the walk and invite the trouble? Don't do that. You're going for walk. Some other positive person would have gone just in front of you. So it may be he would have coughed or sneezed. So whatever virus is spread into the air may be lingering there. What guarantee you don't take it in? And when you go with the mask, do you really get the benefit of that morning and evening walk? Not necessary. Please don't follow this media and keep on saying something on the WhatsApp. This herbal medicine is good, Ayurveda medicine is good, homeopathy is good. Don't go by all that. So, if at all there is any evidence based medicine, definitely it will be released through WHO and you and the entire public will come to know through proper channel. So, use only them. Don't keep on using everything under the sun to prevent the virus. Instead, please concentrate on social distancing. That is more than enough to keep you safe. Should someone wants to have a baby, should they wait because of COVID-19? See, if at all it happens naturally, I don't think you need to crib about the pregnancy. So it should go on smooth. So as I already told, coronavirus as of now, we are not feeling it as teratogenic virus. So it may cause any abnormal baby. So, but those who are trying for conception, see, maybe those who want to do the fertility treatment, such people, I think it is worthwhile waiting for another 3 to 6 months' time for the entire uh, situation to come under control. Because why do you want to get into the see for the treatment purpose? Will be keep visiting the hospitals. You'll keep coming in contact with people. See, you've been waiting since so long. What is the harm in waiting another 6 months? So no harm. So fertility treatment per se can be delayed, but natural pregnancies which happen on their own, so you need not get scared about. My daughter is too tested during COVID. She is expecting her anti-stress medicine safe for her. See, instead of medicine to bring down her stress, join her for some classes. So, where they teach meditation, where they teach pranayam, how to control the mind. Okay, so give her more knowledge, give her more information. Okay, so don't allow her to keep on watching the television news channels, how many deaths, how many infections. So you should know about these things, but not get scared about these things. Okay, so you should take the information, whatever is necessary to keep us well informed about the virus so that we can take precautionary measures. COVID-19 symptoms different among pregnant women. So the symptoms may slightly get exaggerated because of the physiological changes that takes place during pregnancy, but almost they are similar to any other non-pregnant person who develops coronavirus. They also they can be asymptomatic or they can have mild symptoms like fever, cough, and this thing. But one thing you should understand: whenever somebody is having unexplained weakness, okay, body pain or diarrhea, even these symptoms have to be taken into account. Don't neglect those things. Okay, so whenever you have any suspicion, so go and test yourself. Don't have any hesitation about this. During pregnancy, what's happening physiologically, they'll feel little tired. They are little breathless towards the seventh, eighth month. So they'll start getting doubt whether it is corona symptom or pregnancy symptom. Okay, so that time you should consult your doctor and clarify things. Okay, so we will be able to differentiate what is physiological and what is coronavirus symptom. So these children don't want to take kadas and natural remedies which are better than having chemical based allopathic medicines for boosting immunity. What do you suggest, doctor? See, this problem I also face with my children. See, whenever we want them to eat little pepper, jeera, these things, they say no. Okay, so but what to do? We have to force them to have all these things. Maybe we can put these ingredients in our routine cooking so that they will see. Without the knowledge of my son, we put jeera in the cooking so that he will have it. So that is how you should handle your children. So we can't actually force them to do it, but you can achieve it through different means. Are infected pregnant women more likely to miscarry or go into labor early? Unlikely. As I said, increased miscarriages are not documented because of the coronavirus, but sometimes because of the severe infection, when they have very high fever, when they have severe pneumonia, so where they have respiratory distress, saturation coming down, such situations can result in miscarriages. Also, the early delivery. As I said, early deliveries can result because of the fever and the respiratory problems, or most of the time it is iatrogenic. Iatrogenic means the doctors are delivering them early because of the coronavirus infection. So that is more than the natural preterm delivery. So that is the reason we should have sufficient knowledge about the coronavirus. So if the disease is mild, okay, mild to moderate, we need not hurry up in delivering the mother. So we should wait for the infection to settle and take the baby till term and then deliver. See, miscarriages, one thing I would like to tell you, very difficult to find out what is the reason. See, even before coronavirus, we were facing this problem. See, usually pregnant ladies come crying, Madam, why miscarriages happened? So I took all the precaution. I really ate really well. I did not do any strenuous activities. I did not do any journey. So, but we will keep counseling them. See, nobody knows exactly why miscarriages happen. Most of the time, it is because of the abnormal baby, so abnormal embryos. So, because of the either poor quality egg, poor quality sperm, or some errors in the fertilization. So, there are 101 reasons for miscarriage. But conveniently, they will attribute the miscarriage to some cause which they are very comfortable with. So you can understand now, coronavirus is there to blame for everything now. So if they miscarry, they think it's because of the coronavirus, but evidence doesn't support that. My sister was suffering to white discharge and bad smell. This is very serious infection. This is any affected in COVID-19? No. So COVID-19 virus is not found in the genital secretions. So it cannot cause genital infections. It is not human papillomavirus to cause any infection of the cervix or vagina. So if she has any white discharge, so she has to meet her gynec, so get herself examined and then take the treatment. This is one more challenge we are facing now on the video consult. They say we have white discharge, it is found swelling, and give the treatment over phone. No, it is not possible. See, few diseases cannot be diagnosed without examining the patient. So physical examination is essential part of certain diseases diagnosis. So that is the reason kindly get yourself examined and take proper treatment, and don't attribute white discharge to COVID-19. It is not possible. See, we are coming across two types of people. One group is too scared about virus. The other group is too negligent about virus. So both are not good. If you are too negligent, you end up contracting the infection and spreading the infection to others. If you're too scared, your immunity level comes down so much, so you will contract the infection very easily. That is the reason you should be in the middle. See, not too scared and not too negligent. So you should be taking all the precautionary measures, and you should have the confidence, even if I get coronavirus infection, I will come out of it, because majority will be very, very mild symptom. It is similar to common cold. See, when we catch up with cold, are we scared? So though, see, do you think common cold people do not suffer the severe infection? Because of common cold, influenza also they can have pneumonia, they can die out of the infection. So, but we are all fine with common cold. Similarly, COVID also should be taken lightly. So, but in terms of handling the infection, not in terms of contracting the infection. So, while taking precautionary measures, we should have the fear. How serious are the pregnancies during the pandemic? Is it safe for the ladies to consult their doctors at hospitals and go for deliveries in local hospitals? Of course, see, that is what I am emphasizing. Please don't miss out on your antenatal visits. You have to come to hospital whenever it is necessary. See now all the hospitals, all the doctors have made provision for the video consult. You can take video consult, discuss all your problems over phone, over the video conferencing, and just come to hospital for the physical examination, certain injections, medications. Okay, so but always come to hospital with prior appointment, so that you will have your slots. You will not have too much of crowd around you. Okay, so that you will be safe. I would like to ask you, will high BP affect the baby in pregnancy? So high BP is not connected to this. Definitely during COVID season, you are not at risk of developing hypertension during pregnancy. So, but high blood pressure per se will have its consequences on the pregnancy. I'll discuss with you if time permits after answering other questions. Will the baby be safe at hospital after delivery with so much exposure all around? See, baby we should keep safe. We should not get the baby in contact with others. That is the reason when you come for delivery, we'll ask you to come with minimum attendance. Only one person will be staying with you, who's who's also at very risk of at very low risk of having the infection. Okay, so if you follow all the precautions of washing the hands before touching the baby, wearing the mask, okay, not coughing and sneezing on the baby, maintaining the social distancing, so feeding the baby properly, so definitely will keep the baby safe. Okay, someone don't to have symptoms but he get corona positive. Why, ma'am? See, as I said, considerable proportion of population with infection can be asymptomatic. That can be because of the very less viral load. Virus is not in very large number to cause symptom. Second reason, the person's immunity is very good. So it is fighting against the virus. So that is the reason they remain asymptomatic. That is good in a way. So, but at the same time, it is a curse because without his or her knowledge, she keeps on spreading the infection to others, asymptomatic people. So, how about post-delivery stay in the hospital? Could that risk of exposure to COVID-19? See, post-delivery, that is a reason we are mobilizing the patient early. We discharge them early. See, following normal delivery within 24 hours, they'll go home. Following cesarean section, 48 hours, they'll go home. So, we also want the less contact time. But at the same time, we can't compromise on the care. See, following delivery, following cesarean section, we need to look into so many other things. Her vital parameters, blood pressure, her bleeding, any chance of infection. So, establishing the breastfeeding and babies, whether it is maintaining its sugar, temperature, whether it is able to take the feeds properly, all these things we should ensure before we discharge the patients. So we should balance both. So we should not keep them for too long in the hospital. At the same time, we can't just discharge them for the sake of preventing coronavirus and invite other troubles. So we should balance both and take care of the situation. So before other questions come up, somebody has asked about high blood pressure effect on the baby. So something called hypertension during pregnancy, that is called preeclampsia. So this can happen to anybody. This is related to the placental development. So why it happens? So such pregnancies, baby slow in growing. So that is called fetal growth restriction. So such babies require careful supervision. The baby has to be scanned once in 3 weeks, and we should keep looking at the blood supply to the baby. Sometimes baby might end up with preterm deliveries also because of the hypertension. This is the effect of the high blood pressure on the baby. So there are so many other effects on the mother also. Let us see other questions now. What precautions are mm, taken by the hospital between COVID positive patient and normal one? So as I said earlier, we have three different segregated zones. One is for clean patients where COVID report says it is negative. The other zone is for those where the COVID report is still not available. And third zone is for COVID positive cases. All the three zones are completely segregated from each other. We don't mix up the patients. But following any delivery, we take all the precautions to clean up because, as I said, even the negative person can be in the window period. That is the reason we take universal precaution following any delivery. One lady not getting regular periods every 2 to 3 months, she will get doctor and ovaries problem. Those problem affected in pregnancy time. See, irregular periods. So, irregular periods, she may not be ovulating. So, egg release may not be happening. That is the reason cycles will be irregular. Such people may have difficulty in conceiving because eggs are not getting released. Na? So, you need to take treatment for this. So, but at times, so delayed ovulation can get natural pregnancies also. As I said earlier, fertility treatment, definitely you can wait for another 3 to 6 months. During this time, what you can do about irregular cycles, keep exercising, have your healthy diet, high protein, low carbohydrate. So these healthy diet and the exercise may make your cycles regular and help you conceiving naturally. If a few mothers tested positive for COVID, should the baby be separated and quarantined? So not necessary. Okay, so if at all some other family member is ready to take care of the baby, so definitely even breastfeeding can be continued because virus is not transmitted through the breast milk. So mother can be baby can be roomed in with the mother, but mother should take all the precautions in preventing spreading the infection to the baby by washing her hands, by wearing the mask. Okay, so by maintaining the distance, definitely she can continue her breastfeeding. We can protect the baby. A few mothers tested positive. How much chances are there that the baby will get COVID-19 if the mother is COVID positive? So chances is only postnatal transmission. So during delivery, chances of transmission as documented is almost nil. So during delivery, there won't be any spread of the infection. During pregnancy, no spread through the placenta. During delivery, there is no spread through the genital secretions. During the breastfeeding, there is no spread through the breast milk. But direct contact of the mother with the baby can spread the infection. So that needs to be taken care. So I think we have touched almost all the aspects of COVID-19 and the pregnancy. So I think we have answered all your questions to your satisfaction. So thank you for the opportunity. So thank you for patient hearing. All of you, please stay safe and healthy.